Studio here, and today we have another Pokemon review. It is Shadow Pokemon XD001, otherwise known as Shadow Lugia the Pokedoll. Shadow Lugia is very cool. He was a feature in the GameCube game Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. As I mentioned, he was XD001. He is a shadow Pokemon that is supposedly impervious to purification. He has the reverse color scheme of normal Lugia. It's the dark blue for the body, white for the eyes. He's very neat. I personally am really fond of plush or figural representations of very obscure video game references, and Shadow Lugia Pokemon XD is kind of obscure. It was my first GameCube game, and I was super fond of it. I waited a long time before I got a GameCube, and when I finally got it with Pokemon XD in the super cool Pokemon XD GameCube bundle that had Shadow Lugia on top of the GameCube, I was stoked. So, let's take a look at him. And here we are. If we take a look at him overall, we can see the first problem with this one is that his eyes are just slightly uneven. We can get over that. You can get over that in displaying. I think part of it is that there's a fabric cutoff right there that you can see where it was just improperly sewn on. And you can get over that by just tilting him to the side in display, and nobody will notice. So let's turn him around and get a look at his back. Some very nice detailing. And this guy is a US release. He's been re-released by Nintendo of America, Pokemon International, dozens of times. He's constantly being released. I think he only finally just stopped being available at the Nintendo World Store. He was available for a long time, and also at Epcot. This particular guy comes from the Nintendo World Store in New York. It was not re-released as many times in Japan. So finding him with a Japanese tag is actually significantly more uncommon than finding him with a US tag. But he's cute. He's a really wonderful little piece of specific video game memorabilia. So if we look, you see the US Pokedoll tag that was used in Japan for a while, but was used in the US significantly longer. And if we turn it around, you can see the Nintendo World Store price tag. And it does say Pokemon USA on it. And the copyright date is 2009 for this guy. So let's bring him up and take a look at all of his details. You can see the embroidery on his eyes. We've got pink, and the red triangle around the eyes than the inside is fabric, but it does create a nice effect. We've got a nice angry eye outline contrast. Very simple eyes. Very simple. Simply done. We've got the wings that stick out from his eyes. And as I pointed out, this one is kind of improperly sewn on. It's unfortunate that these aren't available at the Nintendo World Store anymore, because I would personally recommend being able to hand-pick yours out. I'm not sure how common this is, and I wasn't able to hand-pick mine out. A friend picked him up for me at the Nintendo World Store. But if we look at how the eye should be done, there's even a slight dent in there, but overall it's a nice straight line going back. If we flip him up, and it's very hard to see, but you can see his mouth is not embroidery, but it's stitching. Right down here, it's just a black line. It's very subtle, and almost more the effect of it is that it parts the Velboa fur, rather than actually shows up as his mouth, so it just kind of creates the illusion of a mouth being present. And for that reason, I would say it didn't need to be embroidered. So, I'm okay with the stitching. Got a nice little belly line, and his feet, if we look at them, we have a nice division of 3 toes. It's done with stitching, so we've got nice little detailed feet right there. And on his wings, we have the division of 3 toes. And flip it around, and we do have the thumb. We've got his fins on the back. I guess we can call those his fins, and his tail spikes. There's the tag. Pokemon USA on the back. And one last look at his face. Overall, he's a really nice plush. He's definitely worth it. He's definitely a nice piece of video game memorabilia, especially if you're a big fan of the GameCube games, or a big fan of Lugia. It's very cool that they released him, and it's very cool that they really made a solid attempt at making him available for US fans. So overall, definitely something I recommend. Alright, this is Horatio signing out, and I'll see y'all at the next review.